Hi guys, welcome back to Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop. Wow, the AMT 1970 and a half Camaro Z28 is finished. But before I get to the reveal, I made one last adjustment to it to get the ride height set. I flipped the spindles on the front end to get the front end lower and to move the tires a little bit closer inside the fender wells. But let me turn it around and show you what I did real quick. Let me show you on the instructions real quick first, and then I'll show you on the car what I did here. Okay, so what I did was, like I said, I just flipped the spindles around. Okay, I just flipped them upside down. So there's a long piece right here, and there's a short piece right there. I made the long piece connect into here, and the short piece connect into the A-arms, the upper A-arms here. The bottom part, the pin here, fits right into there, but when you go to fit this pin in, it's tilted a little bit, so it doesn't go right in where it's supposed to. You have to put it in closer to where the shock would be, I guess. Right there is the shock, even though you don't get front shocks. And the springs, it's closer to the shocks and springs there. So let me show you on the car, if I can get any kind of a decent look here. There's not much light. I'm going to try to shine a flashlight here and show you without moving everything around. So you can't really see, but the tall part goes closer into here rather than into the hole here. It just goes into here, and what that does is two things. It helps lower the front end. You can see it not only lowers the front end, but it tucks it inside the fender well too. Before you flipped it around, the tire was even with the fender edge here. Now it's tucked under. You can see it used to almost stick out from the fender well, which really isn't how they look. Now they're kind of neatly tucked in. So that's how I do that. You just flip the spindles around, flip them upside down. Pretty simple. Okay guys, so hopefully I explained that well enough and you were able to see enough through the video to see how I did that. If you choose to go that route to lower the front end, I think this is a pretty good way to do it. So after that, pretty much just putting the bumpers on and the mirrors on and a couple other things, and it was done. So let's get to the reveal. Okay, so here it is guys, the AMT 1970 and a half Chevy Camaro Z28. This one I airbrushed in Tamiya X31 titanium gold. I thinned it with my acrylic thinner and airbrushed it on. Obviously I used the white stripes for it. I cleared it with Createx UVLS 4053 high gloss clear. It really adheres to the Tamiya acrylic colors really good. I wet sanded it and waxed it. I did not polish it. Used Tamiya Panline accent for the door panels and everything. I used the kit wheels, but I used tires from Fireball Model Works. Really nice BF Goodrich radial TAs. I also sanded off the lettering and used his tire decals for the decals. I figured I could do that better than trying to paint the lettering. But all in all, really happy with the paint job. Probably one of my better paint jobs. Can't really say my favorite necessarily, but one of my better ones overall. So I flipped it upside down, and let's take a look underneath. You see the engine, the front tires, the headers, parts box headers. Honestly, guys, I don't know where I got the headers from, what kit they came from, but they work pretty good on it. I had to file a little bit away of the suspension and the frame, but it worked okay. My scratch built exhaust using 3/32 inch styrene tubing for the piping, and my scratch built mufflers. I'm going to try to do a video on that, on how I did those. Wrap around the rear end there and out the back, and I painted them with, I just brush painted Molitel chrome on the pipes for the tips there. So that's pretty much it. No, I didn't do any weathering or anything like that, just some detail painting. Okay, and we'll take a look at the engine compartment here. The kit engine and everything. I just detail painted everything. I did use some heater hose, added some heater hose. I used an XL coil from Morgan Automotive Detail, MAD Modeling. Pretty nice unit there. The air cleaner is from Off the Sprue. It's a machined aluminum air cleaner. I've used a few of them before. The kit 350 decal. I did add spark plug wires. Now the air cleaner just barely fits. The hood barely fits on there with it. I want to pop it off real quick. And I did use a Fireball Model Works Holley carburetor. Really, really nicely detailed. Carburetor there. I'll spin it around and go to the other side as I lose focus. See another angle of the carburetor there. The heater hoses. I just use a piece of bare metal foil as a clamp or whatever for the heater hose. I did add an alternator bracket, so we don't have a magic floating alternator. Just use some styrene from that, sheet styrene. Moving around to the interior. I used a color called Honey Brown as a base for the interior, and I mixed a color called Khaki with it for the seats, and I mixed another color called Nutmeg with it for the dashboard, and the steering wheel, and the door panels and stuff. The seats right there is the Honey Brown, but so a combination of 3 different colors pretty much covers the interior there. I did not use the kit center console. I just added the shifter onto it. I did use embossing powder for the carpeting. Make it look like carpeting, and airbrush nutmeg brown, that nutmeg brown in there for the carpet. Swinging around to the other side, you can see the package tray, the package shelf there, and the back seat. You see a little bit of a gap here for the interior. And not terrible, but it's kind of there. And I did add door locks, as you can see. We go to the gauges. The gauge decals come with the kit. And that is very carefully brush painted Molitel chrome around the gauge, around each bezel there. A shot of the seats and the back seat there. Nicely detailed interior. Very nicely detailed interior. And we go to the tires. See how I detail painted those. This turned out, these are not terrible kits. They get a really bad rap. A lot of people complain about them. Yeah, there's some flash. Yeah, you might have a little bit of work to do on the body right here like I did with mine. I showed you how I did it. Fairly easy fix, doesn't take much time. And you do have to clean up the headlights a little bit. But overall, I mean, where else are you going to find this year Camaro, this generation of Camaro to build? You're not. So just accept it and take your time with it, and it turns out pretty good. I use bare metal foil for the chrome trim. But if you just take your time building it, test fit everything, I showed you what issues I came across, relatively minor, and how I took care of them. You can do it a different way. There's a couple different ways to take care of the minor fit issues that it has, but it's not enough to deter me from building this kit. This is the second one of this exact kit I built, and I built the Baldwin Motion Camaro kit. And if I had an opportunity to get a couple more, I'd build a couple more. They're not a bad build, especially when you've done one or two of them and you know what's going on, you know the issues, and you can take care of them. You take care of it before you even do it, and it all comes together pretty nicely in the end. So just patience, practice, and test fit is all you really got to do. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop, and stay tuned for some more content. I hope to have my muffler tutorial coming up in just a couple of days, and shortly after that you'll see what my next project's going to be.